Thank you very much for staying with Facing the Nation. I must say that I enjoyed that conversation thoroughly because even though we dealt with serious issues, it was really a relaxed one. Again, I always like to remind people that, our ministers, our leaders, our government officials, they are human and they continue to keep contact. And just by having them here, it reminds you that they're human, they're still the same persons. Again, I always like to remind you too that it is human to err. Mistakes will be made, but the important thing is to learn from those mistakes and move forward. So once again, the government continues to need your support and to need your input. It's not necessarily what you do, but how you do it. Earlier in the program, I talked about some of those celebrations that we have had thus far. For independence, for Guyana's 50th independence, even though the day has gone, which was yesterday, the 26th of May, we will see celebrations right out to the end of the year because it's an entire year of 50 activities. One of the activities we had would have been flag raising ceremonies in different regions, and I was really, really proud to open the newspapers and to go on social media and see that so many regions took part in these celebrations by having their own flag raising ceremonies, and it is in keeping with the president's sentiments and the president's belief, His Excellency Brigadier David Granger, that each community, each town, each region should have their own thing, should have their own identity, and by them having their own flag raising ceremonies, it prove that we are moving towards achieving this. So what I'll do now is bring you just the main speech from the flag raising ceremony in Region 3 that was held on the 25th of May 2016. And of course, the feature address, the main presentation, was delivered by none other than the Minister of State, the Honorable Joseph Harmon, because as you know, the Minister of State has some responsibility for what happens in Region 3. Take a look at his very strong and informative presentation, and by the time we get back, it will be time for me to wrap up today's program. This is Facing the Nation.
Chairpersons, Mr. Faber, the Regional Chairman, Region number 3, Mr. John Adams, Member of Parliament, Mr. Jai Karan, the Regional Executive Officer, and the officers of the Regional Democratic Council number 3, councillors of the Regional Democratic Council, students, friends, people of Region 3, I welcome you to my region. I welcome you home. I'm very proud to stand here this afternoon to say a few words about our 50th year of independence and where we came from and where we are going. 50 years, a lifetime for many of us. Many people never live to see 50 years. I remember when I was a little boy and you heard that someone was 45 years or 50 years, we used to call them old man. But now I am way beyond that and I still feel as if I'm a youth. So age is really nothing, as some people say, but a number. I want to say, however, that independence was something that many fought and died for. Many shed their blood on this land for the sake of independence. But if we were not to protect the gains of those persons who lived and died for our independence, we would have been failing them and we would have been failing the generations to come. In 1966, when we became independent, we became an independent nation in crisis. In 1966, when we became independent, we had a coalition government, as the regional chairman told you earlier. In 2016, 50 years later, we have a coalition government, and therefore there must be something good about coalitions. We have come full circle, and where we are today is a result of the hard work done by all of the governments that we have had since independence. I make no distinction here because we believe that everybody, every government, every politician, every individual had a role to play in making us who we are and allowing us to be where we are here today. So today, I want to, on behalf of the government, recognize the work done by all of the governments since 1966. I am not going to go back into the past because other than telling us where we came from and what we need to do, it serves very little purpose in determining where we have to go. Our coalition government is about where we are going to take Guyana in the next 50 years. How do we inspire? How do we excite? How do we motivate our population to ensure that they understand that the good life for all Guyanese is something that we must work for? In 1966, when we became independent, we were in a crisis. The British soldiers were here. We are in a state of emergency. In 2016, we are in a different type of crisis. In 1966, it required a certain type of political leadership. In 2016, it requires another type of political leadership. And what I want to say here this afternoon to all of you, boys and girls, men and women of Region 3, that the quality of leadership that you are getting now from your government, from the APNU+AFC government, is the quality of leadership required for 2016, for 2020, for 2025 and beyond. Comrades, as I stand here today, 2016 requires, as I said, a certain quality of leadership. In 1966, the imperative of that time was that our people come together. We come together to deal with the issues of colonialism. We come together to deal with the conditions under which our people lived, in the lodges and in the shacks where they live, the poor roads, no lights, poor water supply. These were some of the conditions our political leaders met at the time of independence. Some of these conditions persist into 2016, and these are some of the same conditions we as a government, we have to deal with. But we believe that we can only achieve this if we work together as a nation. We believe that national unity is a priority. It is a priority. And in that regard, we wish to acknowledge and understand that the works of the opposition, the words of the leader of the opposition only last night in the National Assembly sends a very powerful signal, and one which we accept, that if we work together as a country, irrespective of what our political affiliations are, that we can move this country for the good of our people. And ultimately, that is what we need to do. We have to ensure that whatever we do is for the benefit of the Guyanese people. That is our motto. That is what we want to do. That is what our administration said it will do when we campaigned in 2015. That we will create a good life for all Guyanese. And this is what we meant. all Guyanese, not some. So irrespective of what your political affiliation is, irrespective of what your religious persuasions are, irrespective of what your racial background is, we have to work together as Guyanese. We have an excited nation. We have a mosaic that is so wonderful and so colorful that when you look at our flags, when you look at our symbols of nationhood, all you see is strength. When you look at the jaguar that is part of this motto, or part of our symbol for the 50 years, with the 50 behind him, you see strength, you see power, you see strength. And this is what our nation is all about. We are a strong people. We are a strong nation. And if we work together, our destiny will be a strong one. Today, I want to say also that the future beckons. I want to address a few words to the young people of this region. That yours is the future of this country. The future of this country belongs to you. We are mere transient. We are now just the holders of governmental power for your purpose. We are here to serve you as your government. And it is our responsibility, our duty as a government, to ensure that when we hand over to you, we hand over a country that is safe, a country that is secure, and a country that is united. So national unity has to be a priority. We want to say to the young people of this region that education is critical in what we want to do. Education is something that moves a nation from ignorance, moves a nation from poverty into prosperity. Our president, President David Granger, has said, and it is part of what is our policy in government, that we are going to make this an education nation. That we no longer will have our graduates, as soon as they leave the university, looking for a job in some island, or looking for a job in the United States, in Canada, and all over those places. We are going to create the conditions in this country that will make you want to remain here. We are going to create the conditions in this country that will make those of our citizens who have gone abroad, who want to come back here to live, to work, and in some cases, to have their final resting place. Guyana is yours. Guyana is ours. Guyana is ours. Guyana is yours. And what we have to do is to work together to make it great. When I was a little boy in 1966, I was told that Guyana was a place of tremendous potential. Now I'm a grown man in 2016, and people still tell me that Guyana is a place of potential.
That was the Minister of State Joseph Harmon giving the feature address at the flag raising ceremony held on Wednesday, the 25th of May. 2016. That is all the time I have with you this week on Facing the Nation. I'm Malika Ramsey. Be good Guyanese citizens. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. And of course, once again, thank you very much to the Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, the Honorable Basil Williams, for coming on today's program. Join me again next week. Goodbye.